Thank you for the invitation. And as mentioned, I'm from the Austrian CAF-Center. I would like you explained it now, but who is familiar with CAF? Who knows about CAF in the audience? 1/3, huh? This is right. Okay, okay. So CAF is a European quality management system for the public sector. And my task now is, or I have been asked to make the connects, the link between public administration reform and quality management in the public sector, especially with CAF, Common Assessment Framework. So does quality management contribute to public administration reform? And I give you the answer in brief, although I don't want to stop now. Yes, it can. And I want to introduce you how and what are our experiences with that. Coming back to yesterday, coming back to the big picture of Professor Djurovic and the Sigma, let's say, objectives. It's about public administration reform, it's about the strategic framework, the finances, the service delivery, you know this, the transparency, the coordination, the human resource management, what we heard before. This is the big picture, and I have the question now, who is implementing the public administration reform? I also have the answer. It's you implementing. And the point is, a public administration reform has to be implemented not just on the state level and not on the strategic level and not with the big picture, but in each organization. In each organization, public administration reform has to be implemented. And how to do that? How to do that? How to implement public administration reform? That's the big question. The question is there a guideline for solving this magic square of public administration reform in the organizations? And I want to introduce you the CAF model for that and say, yes, there is a kind of guideline, a European guideline for implementing public administration reform in the public sector organizations. And to make a long story short, when you take the different objectives and different activities of targets of the Sigma, and then try to, let's say, translate it to the language of quality management, you will see, and here in this picture you see, that there are high similarities. So when we talk about quality management, we talk about the improvement of the leadership, we talk about the human resource management, the people's view, we talk about strategy and planning, we talk about resources, the budget, we talk about processes, which is also the coordination between the ministries, the coordination between the different levels. We talk about results, better results. And in my view, you have the full picture of, let's say, the Sigma needs in this quality management approach. In 2 minutes, I come a little bit more intensive to that. So you have everything included there, but the difference is you have a kind of guideline for implementing it in the organization. Not in the full state, but in the organization. So what is it? It's Common Assessment Framework, Dragan mentioned already. It's a free tool, so everybody can use it, and it's meanwhile existing in all the languages of the region, except I'm not sure if in Albanian, honestly. But I can check this afterwards. So it's a free tool to improve the performance of the public sector organizations across Europe. It's a European tool. It's not just a European Union tool, it's a European tool because it has been created and it's further developed by public sector experts and public sector kind of civil servants of European countries in order to improve this tool. So it's a European tool. The core is quality management. The core is quality management. How does it function? It starts with a self-assessment of the organization. Why is this important? We heard about human resource management. We heard about ownership before in the presentations, and we see the self-assessment, the process of self-assessment, of a well-done self-assessment, together with the employees, with the staff, and of course the leadership, as a key issue to a sustainable public administration reform, to have ownership, to manage the change, to get also the quick wins, what we heard before. So this is the basis of the system. And our understanding is, and we say that always in Austria, CAF is public administration reform. We just don't call it like that, because nobody wants to hear always public administration reform. We say it's improvement. It's a guideline, it's a European guideline for excellent public management and public organizations. And yes, it is change, and it tries to cover all the aspects of change, which are mainly the problem that we all want to change, but we don't want to change personally, and of course not our organizations. So it's always the others which should change. So coming back to the model a little bit more in detail, it's about achieving excellent results. And when I get also the information from yesterday and from the baseline study, I took this new information from me yesterday. Okay, that the employees in the general government in the Western Balkans, we have about 22.8% of GDP is spent for the employees in the general government, and compared to the EU-28, it's a little bit. It's in fact a little bit less, so that's quite similar. But the big difference is the government effectiveness, which has been presented also via the World Bank government effectiveness indicator, which is much lower. So increasing results, having better results, means having a better government effectiveness indicator. That's where the region wants to go and has to go. And CAF tries to achieve better results in the organization. And doing this with, I mentioned it before, with the focus on the leadership, on the human resources, on the strategy issue, on the finances, of course, and on the processes. So, why is it then the good model for the public administration reform, or is it a model which makes sense for public administration reform? It asks the right questions in this process. It asks the right questions. For example, which objectives and strategies are leading the organization? Are they in line with, in our case, the public administration reform action plans? That's an important and very relevant question. Which service for the customers are provided? It's the right services? Do we provide the right services with the, of course, right costs? Would it be better to have other organizations to provide the services? What are the results and the outcomes of the services? I mean, it's the core of the public administration reform to get better services. We ask them in the CAF process. Are the provided services needed? I mentioned it already. So here are the right questions, and we could go. This list is much longer, but we could. I don't want to bother you with that. So it asks the right question in the organization. Why I am so sure that this is a good approach? Because we have, this is the newest one in Austria. We make all the studies and surveys of the Austrian CAF users, so those who are implementing the CAF system, the organizations, and we ask them what is the result of CAF in your organization? Is it worth to do it? And I mean, of course, there are different answers, but for public administration reform, we asked that, do you think that CAF in your organization has been a sustainable public administration reform. And our CAF users, our Austrian CAF users say to 82%, yes, it is, for us, it was sustainable public administration reform on the organizational level. 80% say, yes, CAF is the guideline for excellent public administration. It is intelligent public administration. It led to concrete improvements in our organization. The tasks and processes, we heard yesterday also, we have to go into the processes, of course, have been developed. The organization in total has been developed. So we have quite good results of those who are using it, compared, linked to public administration reform. You have here the figures a little bit more in detail, but you have the slides, so I will not go into these details here. Maybe this one again. So you see here the blue ones are those who agreed to the statement or partly agreed to the statement, and you see there have been improvements in the fields of processes and tasks in the Austrian CAF users. There have been improvements in the organizational development, in the knowledge management of the organization, in the customer orientation, in the focus on what services we have to deliver in order to have a higher customer satisfaction, and the understanding and the implementation of outcome and performance management has been always improved. Also, human resource and training is one of the, let's say, the higher values of implementing CAF. You see the other parts, ICT, there was not such a big impact on ICT using in the organization. Also facility management, financial management, when you want to improve the financial management, we have the result here in our survey that the impact was not very high. So we have just about 20% of the CAF users say after using CAF we changed the financial management. Of course we are not happy with that and we are not satisfied. With that. So our understanding of CAF is, yes, it's change. It starts the improvement process. It is a kind of public administration reform, and it is worth to be used as additional instrument, of course, to the big picture of Sigma, in order to improve public administration, the public sector. And finally, I want to stress that we think you also have to go into the organizations, because within the organizations, you have, of course, the different sectors. So health is working differently than education. Education is working differently than let's say the core public administration, and similar to the innovation we heard yesterday, the organizations need also their own plan of how to improve themselves and how to then implement the public administration reform. And CAF is a tool which is worth to have a deeper look inside and, yes, also implement it. Thank you very much. Okay.